Well. Welcome to Leading from the Future. I am your host, Dr. Pastor Anthony D. Shannon, a prophet you can trust. Listen, we want to thank you every time for every last one of you to follow us, watch us, DM us, all the things that you do. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you because we have endeavored to come to bring to you inspiration, revelation, and something that is going to inspire you to get up and get moving. We never ever disappoint. We always bring to you relevant stories, relevant voices that can help you. Just one, we always say one word can change your life. One testimony can make you say, wow, if God did it for them, he can do it for me. Or maybe you think there's no hope at all. And then you listen to them and you go, oh, wait a minute. Let me get up from here, right? Because this is called leading from the future. Never from behind, always leading out, pushing out. John Maxwell said you must know the way in order to lead the way. All right. And everything falls and rises, he says, on leadership. Well, listen, we have done it again. We did not disappoint you. Yes, indeed. We have another dynamic person for you. And you know what the good news? Michigan 313, place to be. What up, Doe? Either you know or you don't. But now you know. That's a Detroit slang, okay? Well, listen, let me tell you about this woman of God. All right. Dr. Rita Carter. She is a dynamic speaker, entrepreneur, educator, and breakthrough strategist dedicated to helping individuals move beyond limitations and step into their highest potential. Through her powerful story of resilience, leadership, and business success, she inspires people to break barriers, expand their vision, and then create lasting impact in their communities and in their industries. As a champion for personal growth and entrepreneurship, Dr. Rita Carter equips leaders with the mindset, the confidence, and the practical tools needed to turn challenges into opportunities and dreams into reality. You know, her message is simple, yet it's powerful. You know, your past does not determine your future, and your greatest breakthrough may be one decision away. Do y'all see that? So today, you know what she do? She continues to empower others to rise higher, think bigger, and build legacy that will influence more generations after we leave here, the generations to come. Would you please welcome to the stage for the first time on Leading from the Future, Dr. Rita Carter. Welcome, woman of
Hey
God.
there. Hey there. Listen, I'm gonna take you everywhere with me. You are going to introduce me every time.
Was that all right?
Listen, you don't miss. You don't miss at all. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for being a yes. Thank you for doing the work, you know, that you do. You said yes to the call, yes to the work, yes to overcoming, yes that you didn't want, you were not going to be bitter, but you were going to be better. You are not going to look like what you went through. No, people would not even know what you've been through. You wasn't gonna look like smoke, and you don't. All right. God has been good to you, even after
Yes, he
babies, even
has.
after husband. She still say, I can bring home the bacon fried up by 5, still go and be a boss woman. Hey, glory. I love it, love it, love it. Well, listen, we always tell people the same questions. They open up the show, and that is tell people who Rita Carter is without all of her accolades. Let us know where you were born and raised. What high school did you go to? And
Mm.
who is your mom and dad?
Oh, those are some good questions. Again, thank you so much for having me. As you said, my name is Rita Carter, and I was born and raised in Detroit.
Whoop, whoop.
1-3. I am a certified spirit-led transformation coach, and I love and I am passionate about leading women to break through the barriers that are holding them back from becoming who God created them to be. A lot of people either they don't realize or they forget that they have a purpose, and it's really part of my passion to help lead them. I went to Tech
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Cass Tech, downtown Detroit. Yes, I did. None other. Um, the last question, who are my mother and father? So my mother is Gloria Bates,
Okay.
um, amazing woman of God who raised some amazing children. And my father, God rest his soul, Clarence Bates. So those are my parents.
All right. Well, y'all heard it right there from Rita Carter. Now let's get into it. What life experiences do you think have shaped the woman you are today?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, I have so many. So
Okay.
I'm going to go through and be candid with you if you
All
don't
right.
mind.
Yes.
One of the things that shaped me was the relationship or lack thereof with my father.
Okay.
With my father, I grew up with my parents together in the same home, and a lot of people, oh my goodness, your dad stays with you, like he's in the home, like that was a thing, right?
Wow. Yeah.
That was a thing. And so I had to, I didn't realize it then, but looking back in retrospect, and as I took my journey, my father was an emotionally distant father.
Mm.
So it was almost as if he wasn't in the home. I can physically see him, I
Okay.
can touch him. He was there, but emotionally, he wasn't there. There was no real, true, genuine connection, and so I think that relationship took a turn, and then it led me into making some decisions throughout my life that maybe had I had that connection with him, I wouldn't have made some decisions, right? I would have taken a higher road or a different
Mhm.
road. And
Mhm.
so having that relationship in my life, the little bit of it, um, leads me to believe that I don't care if you show up every day, if
Mm.
you hug every day. Yes, it's nothing like a loving, tender, warm hug. It's
Yeah.
nothing like a kiss on the forehead. It's
Mhm.
nothing like a good handshake. But if you don't connect emotionally, if you
Mm.
don't connect with that intimate relationship, there's going to be some gaps along the
Mhm.
way. There's going to be some wounds along the way,
Okay.
some holes. And so I had to do the work to feel those and heal those wounds because of the absence of my father. And when I say absence, because he was not emotionally available to me.
Mhm. Wow. So in that he's not there emotionally, he's not there to connect relationally, yet there. What was the defining moment that you think that changed your life that says I must move forward?
Mm. So it was early 2000s, and my father and I hadn't talked in a while.
Mhm.
And, it was weighing on me. And I was in the beginning stages of my career. I had just got my master's at the time and married and just climbing that corporate ladder. And I was just, doing great things at a young age. But then it became a point where I felt like I had reached a glass ceiling.
Mm.
And I was doing the work, but
Yeah.
nothing was happening. And I'm
Yeah.
like, so I fast and I prayed. And I said, Lord, like, what is it? And what should I be doing in this season? Because I'm working and nothing is happening. I've reached this glass ceiling. And clear as day, I don't know how God talks to you, but he said, you need to go apologize to your father.
Wow.
Now I'm like, absolutely not. Now, give you just a snippet, right?
Mhm.
My father is a functioning alcoholic, right, at the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
And so, of course, alcohol, you can be funny or you could be mean, and you
Mhm.
got all these different personalities, right? And
Mhm.
so we will bump heads when he drinks. And
Mm.
of course, he would hit below the belt with his words and say some choice words. And so as I got older, I would hit below back, I would hit below the belt right back. But the word says to honor thy mother and thy father,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah,
even though he wasn't, and the word also says not to provoke, right?
sure. Yeah.
But even though he didn't do it, I shouldn't have stooped to that level. And
Mm.
so the Lord told me to go and apologize. And I was like, oh Lord, now you asked me to do a whole lot. I'm talking about my career, my life. You talking about going backwards. Like, what we doing here, right?
Like, what we doing?
What we doing? And so after much fasting, much prayer, it was Thanksgiving of that year, and I took him a plate.
Mm.
And I knocked on his door, hadn't seen him in forever, and he was so surprised to see me. And by this time, my parents had separated, and so we talked, and it was a good conversation. And so finally, I was very vulnerable, and I said, I've seen some things growing up. I've heard some things growing up, things that I liked, things that I didn't like, all of that. And I said that I should have stayed in the child's place. So
Uh,
despite what I've heard or seen between you and my mother, you're still my father.
ooh,
I
that's
want you
good.
to forgive me for being disrespectful. I want you to forgive me for the things that I have said in the past. I want to be the best version of me. And so I'm coming to you and apologizing. And I want that father daughter relationship. And he looked me dead in the face, Pastor. And he says, I'm not ready to forgive you yet.
He said, "What?"
He looked me dead in the face and said, I'm not ready to forgive you yet. He didn't acknowledge his wrongdoing. And he had a whole lot of wrongdoing. But he looked me dead in my face and said that. And I was in a vulnerable space. It took a whole lot for me to do that. And for
Absolutely.
me to be vulnerable and open up, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to take that on. And so I cried my eyes out. I cried like never before. And I clearly heard God say to me, you did what I asked you to do. Let me take it from here. You did exactly what I asked you to do. And so when I heard that voice, I felt some sort of relief. I felt the weight, the burden um, just lift off of me. And so that was at that moment was when I said, okay, I'm doing something different. I was obedient. It hurt. Oh Lord, it hurt. But I was obedient. And I can almost feel God's arms wrapped around me physically. Something that I wanted my natural father to do, but my heavenly father was able to do that. And so at that point, that was a pivotal moment for me to say, I'm doing something different. So
Wow, wow, wow. That right there was precious. And that was very, very good. And that's why we love this show. And many people talk about that. They love the authenticity, they
mhm,
love the transparency that really gets to the core of many people. And
mhm.
people can identify with it because we don't make it seem all glamorous, that it was all just stars, all just firecrackers. We had to go through something. And the mere fact that you shared that is awesome. Listen, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back with Dr. Rita Carter. And we're going to give you an opportunity to get our book. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have released a book. Matter of fact, several books, but this is the latest book called The Process of Change is Now. We are in the fourth industrial revolution. We're dealing with AI, technology, information. We're dealing with robots and all of the other things that are taking place. And whenever these things take place, many people miss it. They're on the background, they on the sidelines. Well, I don't want you to be on the sidelines. I don't want you to be like Blockbuster. Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix, but they thought Netflix was nothing but coming, sending CDs through a little box They thought that was nothing. And then you had Redbox. They said we've got 90% of the market share, and they did not do it. Well, today, Netflix, it is still here. Blockbuster is no longer. So I don't want you to miss it. The process of change is now. All right. This is a book that I believe is going to help you. It's going to not only that, show you stop resisting change. It's going to help you to start understanding how to change, how to move with strategies that will help you change and help you to make a transformation so that you can be at the table ordering from the menu versus being on the menu, getting eaten. Get your book today at Amazon.com. You can also do it at our website, the Victory Church, INT.org. All right.
I am Dr. Rita Carter, and you are watching Leading from the Future with Dr. Pastor Anthony Shannon.
Well, hey, we're back. We're back from that break, and we welcome all of you. If you're just tuning in, you're tuning in to Leading from the Future with your host, Dr. Pastor Anthony D. Shannon, a prophet you can trust. And we're here with our special guest, Dr. Rita Carter. She was really breaking some things down in our first segment. And now we're about to get into the second segment, because after you go to apologize to your father, now he ain't ready to apologize yet. You did exactly what God told you to do. Then what? That seems like a big obstacle, right? A major obstacle there. Now, what obstacle then once seemed impossible? Because that seemed impossible, but it became the catalyst for your greatest growth.
That experience, that season of my life, that helped me to grow like no other. I believe that it was part of the foundation of where I am today. I continued to grow. It hurt. Of course, I was hurting and mad and angry and frustrated, all of the above. But God said, "I got this. I got this." And you wouldn't believe this, but doors started opening for me. I was getting positions in my career and my organization where I wasn't even applying. These were new departments, new divisions, and they were creating things and said, "Hey, would you like to do this?" I remember traveling on behalf of my company, and this is a Fortune 100 company, right? And so I was doing big and great things. My marriage at the time was marriage is marriage, right? It's not easy, but we were doing amazing things. We were traveling, we were purchasing homes. I had just finished my master's. He went and got his master's. We were doing great things, and I think it was because I was obedient to do, even though it felt uncomfortable, even though I resisted it, even though I wasn't sure what was going to happen on the other side. I was hoping that my father would embrace me, and he didn't. But, but God, right? But God, because I was able to be embraced, but by my heavenly Father. And so things just started changing for me in every area of my life. And then I started to look at my father differently. I became healed and whole. I took my power back. I didn't realize, but I had given my father, my earthly father, power over me, and I took it back. And I began to look at him differently because maybe he didn't know how to love me. Maybe he wasn't loved the way he needed to be loved. Maybe he was fighting his own demons and he just didn't know how to win that battle. And so I began to look at him differently, not look at him as the alcoholic or the one that starts fights or the one that calls names and disrespectful. I no longer looked at him like that. I looked at him as like a little boy who wanted to be loved, a little boy who wanted to be cared for, a little boy that may have seen some things and heard some things and experienced some things, and he was fighting his own demon. And what he was going through had nothing to do with me and my siblings, nothing to do with my mother. Those were his battles. And so I began to have compassion for him. And my siblings and people would look at me like, "Girl, are you crazy?" And I'm like,
Right.
"Listen, It doesn't erase the fact. I don't condone the things that he has said and done.
Mhm.
But you never know what people go through behind closed doors when they grow
Mhm.
up. We don't know because he didn't
Mhm.
talk about it. And so he would use the alcohol to mask it. But I loved him for where he was.
Yes.
I loved him in spite of. And so one of the things that I say to this very day is that I want people to see God in me. And
Mhm.
that's part of that because that's what God does. He
Yeah.
loves us in spite of. He forgives us in spite of. He already knows that we're going to go back and do the same thing depending on what it is. He already knows
Right.
the sin that we're going to do before we even do it. Like
That's
he
right.
knows the very hairs on our head. He knew us before we were in our mother's womb, right?
Yeah.
So he knows, and yet and still he loves us. Yet
Mm.
and still he wakes us up every morning. So who am I not to forgive my father?
Well,
Who am I not to love him in spite of? And let God take care of him. So God, again, God rest his soul. My father passed away last year.
uh-huh.
And, I just pray that he was able to get that intimacy with God the way that I was able to do so.
Yeah, that is so powerful because so many people can't cope with life pressures. They can't cope with the responsibilities, and so they look for an escape,
Mhm,
and they get caught up in alcohol, drugs, sex addictions, gambling, all of the traps that's out there. And
mhm,
next thing you know, they get lost.
mhm.
They don't know how to get through it. And then they take it out on the loved ones, and anyone that don't have God, you're right, will begin to hate as well.
Yeah.
And we know that don't work, or unforgiveness doesn't work. So the fact that you are able to conquer that and overcome that and see that, wow, that's such
Yeah.
the power of God for sure. Because I'm sure that there's many people who've not ever talked to their mom or their dad,
Yeah.
and they're gone to be with the Lord,
Mhm.
or at least they left this earth for sure.
Yes.
So, you talked a lot there. And so here's the next question from that, is that many people, right, are stuck.
Mhm.
They're stuck in survival mode.
Yeah.
And, how can they begin moving into purpose and even possibilities?
I believe that you have to surrender. You have
Mm,
to internalize and do a self-reflection.
mm,
My latest book, the last book is actually a journal and it's called Solo Journey. And
mhm.
it's called Solo Journeys because you can't take everybody with you where God is leading you. So
That's
you're not
good.
solo, right? Because he's always with you. But you need to make time with just you and him. And in order to know your purpose, in order to get unstuck, you need to know the plans that he has for you. You need to know who you are, like you mentioned earlier, beyond the titles,
Yes.
beyond the accolades. If
Yes.
all of that was stripped away, who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you at the core? And there was a time and place where I looked in the mirror and I asked, who am I? And I couldn't answer the question
Oh, wow.
unless there was a title tied
Yes.
to it. I
Yes.
couldn't. And so I had to do the work. There was a lot of fasting, a
Mm,
lot of prayer, a lot of falling on my face, just crying out. There were times where I was mad at God because I was like, I don't hear you. Like, what am I supposed to do?
right.
And he has a way of just showing you glimpses of the future. He has a way of like, hey, I'm here.
Yes.
He has a way to make you feel him. I've been in places where I felt his presence.
Wow.
And I'm a dreamer. And
Mm,
so God will reveal things to me in my dream. And
okay.
it be so vividly clear.
Mm,
And so really spending time with him, the more you are spending time with him, and I'm not just talking about a religious thing like, oh, I
right.
went to church Sunday, check box.
Mhm,
Or I
mm-mm.
went to Bible study Wednesday, check.
You're talking
Oh,
a real relationship.
I'm talking about intimacy, like spending
Mhm,
time with him, sitting alone. God is a gentle God. He's not gonna yell. He's
mm-mm.
not gonna come down and slap you. Look, I be wanting them to sometimes.
God ain't
But
gonna smack nobody. God, no.
but he's gentle. You
Yes.
need like he whispers.
Yes.
but he's there. And I think, for me, when I felt stuck, I needed
Yeah.
to spend time with him. I needed to spend time with him. And he will let you know, like, I'm here. You haven't spent
Yeah.
time with me in how long? Because you're busy.
Mm.
You're busy, you're distracted. And I
Yeah.
can tell you, a lot of us, the word says that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But I like to say he also comes to distract.
I like that. He also
He,
comes to
he
distract.
comes to distract. And
Mhm.
distractions are not necessarily bad. It
True.
could be a promotion. It could
Mhm.
be an opportunity to speak. It
That's
could be
true.
a book. It could be an event. Good, great things. However, is it pulling you from
Mm.
your intimacy with God?
Yes.
Is it by the time you lay down and you got your Bible open, 10 minutes later you sleep? That means you have exhausted the day with everything else,
That's right.
right? And not enough time with him. And
Mm-mm.
so I had to do the work. And I love my husband, I love my children, I love my
Mhm.
family, but I'm talking about just me and God.
Absolutely.
Me and God.
Yeah.
And that is really where you will start to hear things differently and see things differently. The word says, search my heart. He will reveal things
Oh,
to you.
come on now.
He will reveal them
Hmm.
in due time, not your time, but
Hmm.
his time. But you have to stay consistent. You have to stay surrendered. You have to have that listening ear so that when he speaks, you hear him. And
Yes.
and being willing to just say yes.
Wow. That is so good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Rita Carter. She is the CEO and founder of Breakthrough. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, and I want you to see Dr. Rita in action. She's a speaker, she's an author, she's all these things, but I want you to see her in action. So we're going to take a break so that you can see what she do, and we'll be right back. All right. Did you see her? Did you check her out? Yeah, because listen, she's not just talking the talk. She walks the walk. And that's what we want people to do. Now, Dr. Rita, you are dropping 24 karat gold bars indeed today, and a lot of wisdom gems for people, especially those that identify with this. You don't seem to be afraid or ashamed to talk about your faith, whether we're doing business, whether we're interacting or whatever, and even now. And how did you and your relationship with the Lord develop?
Oh, that's a good question. So I was raised in church.
Okay.
Um, However, it was a time when it was like you going to church. You gonna do this Easter play. You gonna sing in the choir. It wasn't really explaining the intimacy with God. It wasn't really explaining. It was kind of like you do this. So fast forward, of course, you get into your teenage years and you get rebellious and you make wrong decisions and make mistakes like we all do. But it wasn't until um, my early adult years where I had a relationship, but I really started to build that foundation. I started taking courses at Michigan Theological Seminary, which then turned into Moody Bible Institute, and spending time in the Word. I was in my early 20s. Um, I was newly married. I mean, I knew God, I knew of Him, but I really wanted to experience Him. God is an experience, and that's what I've learned. Yes, you can read about Him. Yes, you can go to church and hear about Him, but you need to experience Him. And as I began to read and study and learn, and I would sit in the quiet places of my prayer room and I would just hear him and experience him. And then, of course, as I mentioned to you before, I was a dreamer and I didn't always dream. But then I would start to dream and they would be so vividly clear. And my mom would say, well, that sounds like the Lord is telling you something. And I'm going to be honest with you, the more I'm intimate with God, I normally have two dreams back to back. And the more I'm like, okay, God, I get it. I get it. Then I'll have a second. Well, I'll have a second dream because I'll have a question. Well, why this, Lord? And I'll pray and I'll cry and I'll worship. And then the second dream will come. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm experiencing him. I am experiencing him. And I was newly married and my husband was seeing me in this space. And he was like, wow, your dreams are vivid. Like it's just almost like I'm explaining a TV show or some sort of movie.
Mm.
And I didn't know what was happening, but it
Yeah.
was happening. It
Mm.
was happening. And so that's where my relationship started to grow really intimately with him was my young adult years. Again, I went to church, but
Yeah.
I didn't know him.
Okay.
You have to know him for
Mhm.
yourself, right? You can't be a babe in Christ for forever. How
No.
long you gonna skate on your mother's and grandmother's prayers, right? Them wheels gonna fall off sooner or later. You need to know him for yourself, right? And that's what I did. And that's how I started to grow and I started to see things shift. Things that I used to do, I didn't want to do no more.
Hmm.
Places I used to go, I don't want to go no more. Like I started to see a change in myself.
Wow.
And so I would say that will be um, significant for me. Like my early 20s is when I really built that intimate relationship with him.
Wow. You know, you are the CEO and founder of Breakthrough.
Mhm.
So, first of all, what does breakthrough mean to you, and why did you pick breakthrough?
Oh, that is so good. So again, dreaming.
Hmm.
And I talked a little bit about the glass ceiling.
Hmm.
But I also envisioned myself, there was a dream and there was a brick wall. It was almost like, to me, it was like the walls of Jericho, right?
Right.
And it was a brick wall. And it was so hard and I couldn't get out and I couldn't get out. And like the bricks would chip, but they wouldn't really budging.
Okay.
And so finally, it was almost as if there were finally pieces of bricks and you will finally see words on them. And I guess this was the Lord revealing to me what the wall was in my life.
Okay.
And it was fear,
Mm.
it
Oh,
was
wow.
shame, it was resentment, it was anger, it was all of the above. And
Okay.
so breakthrough, it was kind of like, in order for me to take this journey and be who God has called for me to be and break this wall down, I have to face some things. And a lot of people, including myself, like, I'm just going to forget it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to keep pushing and move forward. But sometimes you need to do some digging. It's almost like a garden, right? You plant your flowers, but before you plant the garden, you have to till the soil. And a lot of people don't know much about tilling, but it's tilling the soil, it's getting the ground ready for that planting season. So that growth, so the roots can take root, and so you can start to see what the seeds are. And that's what the wall was. I kind of felt like I was in a corner, just blocked. Just I couldn't go anywhere, and these bricks was just taking forever. But then when I finally pick up a brick, it was things that I had been dealing with: fear, shame, insecurity, all of the above. And I was like, okay, God. And He started revealing to me areas of my life where I needed to clean some things up. I needed to till the soil in my life in order for Him to plant the seed. And so that's where breakthrough came from. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. And this is a daily walk of breaking through. Because what the enemy does, he's going to come and try to rebuild.
Yeah.
He's going to take that brick and put it back. But that word breaks it down. The enemy comes, but put it back. You and a God break it down. Like it's just a cycle, right?
Yes.
So for me, I had to break through. And
Mm.
now that I have taken the journey, I see other women, I have coached other women where they needed to do the same. I started
Wow.
this journey with women wanting to heal their marriages, and they will come in, they pointing the finger at the husband, pointing the finger at the
All right.
husband. But it was so much on the inside of them that they needed to heal. Not
Wow.
saying the husband didn't have issues or things like that, but they had their own internal things that they had to go through. So
Wow.
helping women break through that wall together, like let's do this together. Because once you're healed and whole, and once you have broken through, you can then reach back, right, and say, "Come on,
Absolutely. Pass it forward now.
yep,
Wow. You really did the work. You really went through intentionally. You didn't do it haphazardly. You did it intentionally
yeah,
to make sure that you can move to a new level and break down all of the things that may have caused you to be stuck or bitter. You
mhm,
know, now as you move forward, how do you help people with limiting beliefs,
mhm."
right? That's holding them back from achieving what they really want to achieve.
A lot of times it's from their trauma that they've experienced,
Mm,
maybe childhood trauma, maybe some form of rejection in relationships, maybe a rejection on your job. So I have them do the work. Like,
okay.
okay, first off, what's your goal? And
Okay.
what do you believe is hindering you from getting there? So one of the
Mm,
questions I like to ask is if money was no issue,
hmm.
if money was no issue, what would you be doing right now?
Wow.
And why? Why would you be doing it?
Hmm.
Right? And so really going deep and doing the work. I just coached a young lady and she says, I just want to help people. Help people how? I'm not sure. And help people, like, why do you want to help people?
Yeah.
So really getting her to think, but it was really come to find out that she didn't receive some things as a child. And so she wanted to help other people, but she had not healed from it.
Oh, wow.
She had not healed. And so after a couple of sessions, I recognized that if she didn't do the work, she would start bleeding on other people. And you have to be careful with helping people you're not healed and whole because you can bleed on them. And so just doing the deep work to really say why you're doing what you do. Something that I utilize and in corporate America as well is 5 whys. Not sure if you ever heard of it, but if you can ask why 5 times, you typically will get to the root of the problem. Rather if it's at work, rather if it's in your relationship, rather if it's whatever you're dealing with. If you can ask why 5 times, you typically hit the root. So usually people don't go that far. They stop midpoint. They stay surface level. And then if they do break the surface, they don't go down far enough. And there's still some healing that needs to take place. There's still some things that are holding them back. And so if you can ask yourself why 5 times, that typically would get them to think a little bit. And so a lot of times we have what we need on the inside. You just need that person to help you dig it through and dig it out. And so I am that person that will help these women. And again, they have the answer. I'm just
Right.
helping them pull it out.
Yeah. It's there. You're
Yes.
the catalyst in
Mhm.
helping them.
Yeah.
That is so, so good. You know, time is moving and fleeting so fast, but I want to ask you this. How important is, let's say, a positive mindset in achieving success?
Life is hard. Life be life, and as they say,
Yeah.
right? The enemy is on an attack. And so a lot of things, everything almost starts with the mindset.
Hmm.
If you go in thinking that you're not going to make it, you're not going to make it.
Not gonna make it.
If you go in telling yourself you're not going to get that job, you're not going to get that
Yeah.
job. I
Yeah.
strongly believe that words have power.
Mm,
Words have power. You
yes.
have to be mindful of what you speak. And
Wow.
what you speak is typically what you're thinking. But if you
Mm,
change your mindset, If you change your mindset and said, you know what, this may be a difficult task,
Right.
but God makes no mistakes. I
Mm-mm.
know the God that I serve, right? So I may be faced with an obstacle, but
Mm-hmm.
my God, and He
But
makes
my
no
God.
mistakes. And the strength that I have on the inside of me came from Him.
Yeah.
He has never failed. He has never forsaken me. And if He brought me to it, I know it's a cliche, but He will bring you through it. And so start thinking about what's on the other side of the obstacle and stop looking at the mountain itself. And then just imagine if you peek around just a little bit, imagine what's on the other side if you get there, if you just keep pushing forward. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. You're going to have some rough days because we're human, right? We're human. But if you say, you know what, Lord, just give me strength, have mercy on me. I'm having a rough day, but Lord, you have made this day. This is the day that you have made. And I'm going to rejoice. I'm going to have a good day. I don't know what's ahead of me, but it's going to be a good day. And so you have to speak it into existence. You have to affirm yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the God you serve.
Mm.
And so knowing that He can do all of the above.
All the above.
So if you can just change your mindset,
Hmm.
don't worry about how. Don't worry about the how. But
Wow.
just focus on the mindset of what God is telling you to do and let Him take care of the rest. Just give Him your yes.
Just give him your yes.
Mhm.
Man, that is so good. Make a person want to go smack a bear and kick a lion. Ah, my. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
I didn't see it growing up.
Mm,
I didn't know what it was. My
okay.
mom worked doubles. I mean, she worked her butt off to make
Yeah.
sure that we had what we needed.
Okay.
And I didn't see a lot of that. I saw it on TV, but you
Sure.
didn't see it in your community. I didn't see it in my community.
Hmm.
I may read it in a book or so, but I didn't see it. And so I have children of my own, and I want better. I
I,
want to do things differently. I want to leave a legacy, and not just a legacy financially. I
hmm
want to leave, I want my girls to know intimately who God is, right?
mm,
I want them to know that, yes, we may have houses and cars and money, but I also have the Lord, right? And His faithfulness and His goodness, and I know Him for myself. And so I'm not just leaving a legacy for my girls to say my mommy and my dad left this because they work so hard and they've helped people. I want them to know why and how we did it. And it's because I didn't have it. I didn't know what it was to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know I didn't know the things that I know now. And now that I'm able to take that journey, yes, it's great to be an entrepreneur, but I am a kingdom builder. I am increasing the kingdom. Yes, entrepreneurs, we have to provide. We need to make money because we need to prepare for, take care of the house and different necessities that we need in life. But I am about my kingdom business, and that is increasing the kingdom. That is being a vessel being used by God. And so, as I mentioned earlier, allowing people to see God in me, allowing people to hear Him speak through me, that allows for the kingdom to increase, but also for my businesses, my entrepreneurship to expand. But it's not just a monetary thing for me. I am building something,
wow.
and something that you can't buy in the store. And you can't
Can't
take
buy
it
it,
off
huh?
the shelf. You can't buy it.
Give you $1 million. Give me that. You be like, can't buy that anointing. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Not
So
for sale. You got to
that is
earn
what
it.
I'm doing.
Wow. Here's our last question for you, and
Mhm,
that is for the person watching who maybe feels stuck or
mhm.
maybe discouraged or even maybe ready to quit. What final word of encouragement would you leave with them today?
The fact that you woke up this morning lets you know that you still have purpose. The
Mm,
fact that you have breath in your body lets you know that you still have work to do.
mhm,
God doesn't make any mistakes. And you may be going through a season of transition. You may be going through a season of uncertainty. You may be going through the insurmountable where you just cannot believe, you cannot think or fathom how you're going to overcome this. But I am here to decree and declare that God is getting ready to do a new thing in you. And usually, when God is getting ready to do something, the enemy tries to come in and block it. The enemy is coming in and tell you you're not good enough. The enemy is coming in to tell you that you're not worthy. The enemy is coming in to tell you all of these negative things because he knows what God is getting ready to do. But I'm here to tell you that God is getting ready to do a new thing. And as he elevates you, sometimes it feels a little heavy, but that means that he can carry the load. And so I would definitely encourage the person that is watching tonight is that let them carry it. Let them carry it. Cry out if you need to, some days if you need to. Ask why if you need to. Go fall on your face and cry out, but let him carry it. And don't give up. Because again, the fact that you still have breath in your body should let you know that you still got work to do. Because you could be dead and gone. There are people that didn't wake up this morning, but you did. You did. So that means that there's work to do. There's lives to change. And your journey is just not your journey. Your journey is for the next generation behind you that's watching you, that's looking at you, that's admiring you and wondering how did they do that. So be the change. Know that it's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Nobody is perfect but the Lord. But do something different and be willing to just stick it out. Growth is uncomfortable. And if you keep that in mind, get excited. When it gets uncomfortable, be like, oh Lord, I know you're getting ready to bless me because it's uncomfortable, but I know who's fighting this for me. So get uncomfortable and know who's fighting your battle and know that what's on the other side is way better than you can even imagine. So that is what I will say to the person that is watching, that it's not too late.
wow, wow, and wow. Well, you heard it right here live on Leading from the Future with our special guest, Dr. Rita Carter, the CEO and founder of Breakthrough. Now, tell people about how to get in touch with you, how to order your products, and how, if they, what's your website, social media handles, all of that good stuff.
Absolutely. So my website is www.breakthroughready.com. If you are ready for your breakthrough, again, that is www.breakthroughready.com. All of my merchandise is on there. All of my books are on there. As I mentioned before, my latest book is a journal. It's a 90-day journey with you called Solo Journey. And then also my handles are Breakthrough with Rita. Feel free to reach out. Breakthrough with Rita. You can DM me. You can reach out to me. I also have an upcoming event. I have an annual Rise and Breakthrough brunch where I have amazing people that I created a platform for them to share their story. And then once they share their story, I want to help them build it because, again, their journey is not just for them. And so come out August 29th if you are in the Northville area, that is west of Detroit. Um,
Mhm.
Come out on August 29th at 10 a.m. Get fed with some amazing food physically, but also get fed spiritually. So those are some ways to stay connected with me, and I hope to get in touch with you soon. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, who am I? And if you can't answer that question, I'm here to help.
Well, all right. Y'all heard it. You heard it right here from the 313. That's the place to be. What up, Doe? From Dr. Rita Carter. She is a Michigander for sure. All right. And y'all support her and hit her up. And anyone who's identifying with this, please DM her. She can walk you through it. I promise you that. She's anointed to do it. And she's already been there, done that, and got the t shirt. So that's who you want to help you navigate to your breakthrough. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in to Leading from the Future. And I want you to continue to lead, follow us as we teach people how to lead, to love, and to grow. We want them to continue to do the work that we've asked them to do, that God wants us to do. And if you're stuck, listen, you need to hit us up. We also want to encourage you. You know, we have the Leaders Live Generously Prep Breakfast of Champions, the second year. Well, it's really the 10th year of us doing the prep breakfast just in this format. And we want you to be sure to come. Friday night is the live meet and greet. Listen, that's where we go live. We have the news conference. We hit something big. Amen. And then on Saturday, it is going down on the 29th, where there's going to be a nice brunch, speakers, and then folks that we are honoring as well. And then we close it out on Sunday morning, where everyone leaves with something greater than what they came with. All right. You come in one way, but I promise you, you're going to leave out a whole nother way. We believe that if you're going to come and empty out, you're going to get full when you leave. So we want you to go to the prepbreakfastofchampions.com. We also always like to give you an opportunity to help support this broadcast. You know, we put this broadcast on TCT, the Word Network, Hulu, On Stage Plus. And listen, we always give you an opportunity if you want to sow a seed of $1,000. Please do. $500, $250, $100, or whatever you have. Just say, look, I want to just support this, let this inspiration, revelation, and to be able to help people with this impact. All right. Here's the ways you can give: the Cash App or the V Church, right? All the seeds over $250 are tax deductible. Isn't that wonderful? And you can use it on your taxes if you choose to. But listen, we want to continue to bring forth revelation, information. But tonight, you heard it, even your breakthrough. We want you to get it. All right. All right. Well, listen, the last thing I want to tell you is this. If you have not gotten this book, I need you to get it. Sacred Success. Everybody's looking for success, and success is relative, believe that. But I want you to know there is a sacred success, that there is God-given prosperity that is not in your money. It's not you chasing money. It's not you chasing things, even though these things will come. It's you finding your purpose. It's you finding out what you are here for. It's when you find it. If you're called to be a plumber, listen, now your prosperity show up. If you're called to be a doctor, guess what? Now your prosperity show up. If you called to be the person to help you get the breakthrough, guess what? Your money will show up. And so we teach you that there is a sacred success. There's a practical biblical strategy that this book will empower you to break through and break free from the mindset of scarcity to align with God's divine plan for you so that you can walk in it like never before. Get this book. I promise you, it'll bless you. I promise you that. It will not disappoint. All right. Scan the QR code and get the book today. And then, of course, we always tell you, and we mean it from our heart, that we believe that everybody is born for a purpose. We need you to find your purpose so you can start living your life, because life without purpose is like living life not at all. You heard it today. Dr. Rita Carter told you how you can overcome. Maybe you didn't know your father. Maybe you didn't know your mother. Maybe you have that same similarities. But you know what God told her to do? You go forgive them. Even if they don't, you do it, and I'll bless you. And did not God and have not God blessed her? So if you're holding on to something like that, listen, just do what she did and let God bless you real good. And as we say, we'll see you always at the top, because there's more room up here than down there. I promise you that. All right. So come on up to the top and we'll see you real soon. As we always say, peace.
Thank you for joining us on another incredible episode of Leading from the Future with Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon. We've had an amazing journey exploring visionary leadership and inspiring insights. If you're passionate about sharing your story and ideas on our show, we'd love to have you as a guest. Simply reach out to us via email at thevictorychurchint@gmail.com. To ensure the continued success of our channel, we warmly invite you to contribute. We're seeking 10 generous individuals to donate $1,000 each, as well as 10 contributors with a gift of $526, and 10 supporters donating $224.24. Every donation, regardless of the amount, makes a significant impact. However, as a token of our gratitude, each contributor will receive a personalized prophetic word and an exclusive ebook. You can contribute through 3 convenient ways. The first is Cash App. That's right, $ Anthony D. Shannon, or $ The Victory Church INT. You can also download the V Church app. Search for us on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Follow the prompts and make your contribution. Whether you contribute $1,000 or any amount, every donation makes a difference. Go ahead and support us today. For more information and to stay connected, please visit leaderslivegenerously.com. We appreciate your support in advancing our mission. Well, thank you for being a part of this incredible community. Join us again next time as we lead from the future with Dr. Pastor Prophet Anthony D. Shannon.